Daniel's back on Galopin, and guess what? He's working.
Bonjour mes amis, bonjour la France, tout va bien?
One of my little sump pumps had stopped working, and he just checked the whole damn thing, and it turns out it was one bolt here that got slightly loosened up.
Daniel had planned to meet me in Malaga, further south. But as we know, sailors' plans are written in sand. So he joined the two-man Galopin crew in Cartagena.
It's weird because they have a bunch of buildings here that they've kept the facades, but it's completely empty, like a Hollywood decor or something. So this is the street me and Bruno were at when we went out, and it was the last day of Semana Santa, and it was filled with people, right? And look at it now, there's no one. Isn't it weird? Just like dead, deserted. And a few nights ago, it was just packed, man. It's crazy.
Life went on at the Marina, and my new injector pump was ready to be installed. Alfonso lent an experienced hand to reinstall the pump.
Engine's working. Alfonso's done a fucking awesome job, man. This is great. Now we just have a little problem, it won't turn off.
Daniel watched on, which was a good thing.
Maintenant, si tu veux, dans le solénoïde avec le moteur, il doit pousser, mais là le câble il passe, il s'enroule autour de deux trucs, il peut pas pousser là.
Alfonso, muchas gracias, gracias amigo, Alfonso, fue super bien mecánico, muchas gracias.
Some new friends stopped by to check out Galopin.
The Northerners are here, the Vikings. Sago from Finland.
Hello.
And these two from Sweden. Ulrike.
Ulrike, yes.
And Joel, Sweden. They're real Vikings. They came in the middle of the winter with the smallest boats in the harbor. They're pretty fucking brave, man, these guys.
So we left Sweden about 7 months ago. And so we left Sweden in October and came straight here, almost. Beating the cold and getting to warmer climates.
Yeah, we sold everything, quit our jobs and brought the dogs. And yeah, so we're taking it one day at a time, I think.
It's nice to see pictures of snow at home and being here in the warm climate.
Hearing about our parents and our friends at home, just with all their clothes and everything on and really cold and it's icy and yeah, so then it feels good that we're here.
Yeah, it's very cold up there. I'd rather be here.
We said we were going for 1 year and now we're kind of extending it to indefinitely.
Right, once you start, how can you stop? And going backwards? I can't.
No, you have to go around.
What was your
first.
friend that said that he was going, he left Helsinki?
Oh yes, a friend of us, we saw him at Kiel Canal and he said that he's heading to Helsinki. I said you are going the wrong way. He said yes, but I just go around the globe and then I head to Helsinki. Oh, I was living in Oulu. It's a city in North Finland in 65 latitude.
Which means?
Which means that there is snow right now, maybe half a meter.
But you said you were close to the Arctic Circle.
Yeah, maybe 200 kilometers.
And when are you gonna go back?
Probably someday, but let's not think about that now.
Hey, where did you come from?
The name of the boat has been chosen because we come from way up north, from latitude 65, which is nearly the Arctic Circle.
British boat built in Southampton.
Yeah.
Stella Polaris.
Yes.
The Finnish boat.
Yes.
Oh, this is what? Not a contest? No.
Vancouver.
Of what? Vancouver?
Yeah.
Like the city Vancouver?
Yeah.
Ah, okay.
So in the harbor we usually, the person who comes from the most north.
They're the most northern Vikings. Well, maybe no, they're even Laplanders practically, no?
Yeah.
Sako, Anton, Sana, the ultra cool Finnish family. All right, you guys.
See you, Fairwinds.
See you, Fairwinds too.
Thank you.
Ulrike and Joel, the young Swedes, left to go to the Balearic Islands. A few days earlier, on a cold afternoon, the Quebecois had flown back to Canada. The Marina was slowly emptying out as sailing season began in the Mediterranean. We would depart soon, but in the opposite direction, out of the Med and into the Atlantic. We had digital maps, but no paper charts, which are old-fashioned but electronically foolproof.
Alberto helped us out find some maps because we needed a map and we couldn't find a map. So thank you, Alberto. Muy amable.
Solo navegantes.
See. Okay, Simone seems to be running good. It's Wednesday morning and we're preparing to take off to Tangiers. Are we good, Dan?
All things good. We can leave Cartagena to go to Morocco today.
And we're off for a second time from Cartagena. Looks good. Daniel's with me, and we're off for a 2-day journey to Tangiers. So it's gonna be about 48 hours of navigation. Here's a Spanish warship, so I don't know, he's out here. So usually they've been pretty peaceful over there in the harbor, but guy's out there. Maybe there's a reason why he's out there. Hey Don, what are you doing with old Kim Jong-un?
We started up motoring against a light wind, but as we followed the coast, the wind was bending continuously against us. We changed plans about going to Morocco, as we would have ended up more like in Algeria. So we decided to sail near the coast to avoid the increasing gusts and hard, short waves. But no chance. The waves pounded furiously. It felt like this for the following 13 hours. Throughout the whole of the friggin' night. It brought Daniel down to his knees. Having not been sailing for about 2 years, his sea legs gave out and he was in sad shape. He began to gnaw at me too, so I ate to keep the sickness at bay and kept my eyes on the swell. Seems to work for me so far. It appeared to be more like we were in a northern sea than the Mediterranean. But that's its character, its personality. It seems like it's ruled by one of Neptune's wicked cousins. Always unpredictable, mischievous, and wonderful at the same time. But this went on the entire night. Daniel was wretched, but his will kept him strong. Rather quickly, Daniel's sea legs kept him afloat. It was a get used to it or get off kind of test, and he passed.
Well, it was kind of a brutal night last night. Lots of friggin' waves and tons of water came into the boat through the air vents, and the anchor, so massive it's not well secured, broke our navigation light on the front, just tore it out. Now we're here in this little port getting some diesel and drying up the place. So tough night last night, but we're here. It's part of the adventure. So we've taken everything out of gut up to dry them up as best as possible, rinse off the salt water, and now I'm going to seal off these air vents, which normally have a cap or something you put on the inside, because water was just pouring into these. air vent and pouring into my cabin, which was soaked. So just gonna tape these up for now and until we can get the right caps that go from inside. From freezing cold last night, it's super nice now. Shower to take the salt off. That plastic bag there is the kind of thing that can really fuck up your water intake for the cooling system. Kind of crap to get stuck in your cooling system. Look at this. That can seriously block your cooling water intake. Dan and I made a pit stop here after somewhat of a difficult, harrowing night. The waves were just crashing over the whole deck. And when we were crashing into the waves, the mantis anchor, which hasn't been completely thought out yet, bashed into my navigation light and just bashed it right out into the sea. So luckily we had the mast navigation light so people could see us, but we had no more light in the front. And where we taped the orange is where water was just pouring in. But that's all done now, so a little more prepared.
We continued that afternoon to sail on through the night. Some small whales showed up and we thought it was a good sign from Neptune's wicked cousin. The sea was kind to us, but we knew a big low pressure system was at our backs. We wanted to ride it all the way to Gibraltar, and it started beautifully. The wind increased to 35 knots, and the waves began to crest up to 4 meters. Going on like this in the dark was playing a dangerous game with Neptune's wicked cousin. But what choice did we have?
Ouais.
Et si on naviguait que jusqu'à 10h et qu'on allait s'amuser dans un port, ça fait.
Mais pas que ça va être pire. Looks like we're in for another interesting night. This time we're going with the wind instead of against it. So it's beautiful, but it's like the rib, we're doing 8 knots and 25 knot winds.